Hey guys, what's going on? Today I want to do a video about blade shapes and kind of how these blade shapes, to me, in my opinion, what the benefits of these certain types of blade shapes are, and which blade shapes I really like and which blade shapes I'm like, they're okay. The whole point of having a knife in your pocket in the first place is just to have something sharp, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. To use for whatever daily cutting tasks or whatever. I'm not really a tactical guy. I do have one knife here that's kind of a tactical knife, but other than that, I don't consider my knives to be tactical. I don't, whatever. You can use your knives for whatever you want to use them for. I am not ever going to be that guy that's trying to convince you that my way or my thinking is the only way or the best way. And I know that blade shapes, especially with modern folders, because there's so many modifications to particular blade shapes that it turns into arguing. Like, it's funny. I want to tell you right now that one thing that just turns on my bullshit meter more than anything else is when people use words like proper, or say phrases like this is the only way, or this is the best way, or you have to do it like this. That just doesn't resound with me in a positive manner. I'll just put it that way. When someone leaves a comment and says, "Oh, the best blade shape in the world is the clip point blade because blah 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 blah." No, the best blade shape to you is the clip point blade. It doesn't mean it's the best shape in the world. It's your opinion, and we live in a society where everybody wants to be right. I'm right and you're wrong. No, that's not the way it goes. That's not how, evolved people get along, by everybody thinking they're right. If everybody thinks they're right, nothing will ever get done. So anyway, blade shapes, there's all kinds, all shapes, all sorts. Let's start with some that are pretty easily identifiable. And let's start with one that's really popular, and that is the clip point. And to me, a clip point is where this is either straight or even curving up just a little bit, like a trailing point. And I'm not talking about grind. Like, to me, this is a saber grind when it's ground, like, 3/4 or halfway up. That's like a saber grind to me. So when I look at this, I see a clip point blade. And I believe that's what Demko calls it also. Nice thing about these is you have great piercing, a little bit of flat, and a little bit of belly. So when you're doing cuts like this, you can get down there with the belly of your blade and make slices. That's really nice. Or if you're cutting rope, I don't have a chunk of rope, but you got it folded over and you're cutting through, and that belly kind of gets in there and helps do the slicing work. It's awesome. It's good. And I have a few different kinds of clip points. That's one of the things you're going to notice, especially in modern folders, is there's variations. See, that's considered, to me, that's a clip point or even a trailing point. See how that kind of curves up? But see how they're different? To me, this is more kind of like a Sebenza clip point. And again, you got flat, you got belly, you got a tip. So, and I like that. I think that's really, really cool. I think clip points are really nice. I think, a good classic clip point blade is very cool looking. I don't have any of my traditionals out here because I think in traditional blades, the blade shapes are pretty easily definable. You know what I mean? You don't get ones that are kind of confusing, like this one. Is that a harpoon? Is that a clip point? Is that a clip point with a harpoon? I don't know. I like it. I like that it's got lots of belly, good sharp tip, a place to put your thumb. You choke up on it, get up in there, do your cutting. This is the Kaiser Pelican. I think they're made by these guys. No, Concept. I think Concept makes the Telican now, but this is the Kaiser one, the older one. I like this knife a lot. Really nice. Really nice. So I don't know. You tell me. Right down below. Pelican. Is that a clip? Is that a harpoon? I don't know. Because to me, this is a harpoon. Is that a harpoon with a warny? It's not quite flat. Or a reverse Tano. Or a sheep's foot. See what I mean? In modern folders, it can get really confusing. Spyderco calls this a drop point. But because Spydercos usually have the hump and the hole, they don't always have a hump, but they have the hole and stuff, their drop point, I don't know. I mean, that looks like a drop point, but it also kind of looks like, because I think this one's called a spear point. All right, satin. I actually polished this carbon fiber a little bit, but to me that's a spear point blade shape, and it's not too awfully different from this one. See what I mean? See how I can get all jumbled up? And that's why in my opinion, there's no one right answer about a blade shape. I think Benchmade, I think this one is pretty much resoundingly considered a reverse Tano, which could make, where'd it go? That one a reverse Tano too, right? Right? I think so. I don't know for sure. That's what I call it. I call it a reverse Tano with a saber ground with a long swedge. So, and as far as popularity goes, a lot of people really, really like drop points. There's pretty much a classic shaped drop point. This one's a classic shaped drop point pretty much. Very nice. I like drop points as well. Same thing, flat belly. This one is a copied blade all over, classic drop point. This is the Benchmade mini bug out. This is the Kaiser Militaw, best action knife I have. It is so smooth, guys. It's just crazy. And it's like, if you push it, keep your finger on the lock bar pushed over, yeah, it'll drop down and it'll get you like that. But it's not, I don't know, it doesn't feel guillotine-y. It just feels super, super smooth. Let's see. What do you call this one? Quiet Carry IQ, small. To me, that's a sheep's foot, although it's not a straight edge. Modified sheep's foot? Let's call it modified sheep's foot, maybe? I don't know. You don't get a whole lot of belly. You get a lot of nice straight flat. I kind of wish you had a little more tip. I got this one sharpened out a little bit too steep of an angle, so that secondary bevel looks really wide, but I just wanted to see if I could do it, and I did. I think that's like 14 degrees. It's a cutting machine when it's sharp, but it doesn't hold up really, really good in my work. So I'm gonna have to roll it back to 17 one of these days. Is this a reverse Tano or a Wharncliffe? Because they call this one a Wharncliffe. And I would say that that's a Wharncliffe. The way this has that double break on there and a perfectly straight edge. And I would say that use-wise, Wharncliffe, for work anyway, is one of my favorite because you can dig into packages and cut them open really easy with a Wharncliffe. I really like a Wharncliffe. And they're badass looking. Whole reason I bought this knife was for its looks, because it's way too heavy, way too thick. It's an okay slicer, not the best in the world. This is the Chavez Sangria something 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 something. Their names are weird. I don't know if it's a street or not a street or what, but it's really cool. Really nice. But I don't know. I would say that that's kind of a Wharncliffe, but it does have a little bit of belly on the edge. This is the Benchmade Full Immunity. I think ZT is calling this one a drop point, but it looks more clippish to me, kind of, sort of. Kind of has, again, that Sebenza clip thing going on. But this is curved. So, again, lots of flat, nice bit of belly, really sharp tip. This is a fantastic EDC knife. This could very well end up being my best EDC of the year for next year. I don't know. Super thin, super easy to carry, super lightweight, great pocket clip. I hear guys complain about this pocket clip, but not complain about that pocket clip, and I don't really know what the difference is. They're about the same size. This one's a little tiny bit bigger. This one does carry a little bit past the handle. I know some people don't like that. I don't mind it, but I think it's great. I think it's awesome. I think everything about this knife is really, really good. Doesn't mean you have to. I'm not trying to sell it to you. I'm not trying to convince you. This is the Perpetua. This is another one of those, what is it? What is it, man? Real similar. I know one thing, it's a slicing machine. It was for a long time my thinnest ground American made knife, even though the blade stock's kind of thick. They ground it super, super thin at the edge, which is really nice. Now this one is. But I have one coming that might dethrone this one. That's American made. American made. So, yeah. What do we got here? Drop point, classic. But see, the point's way up. To me, a drop point, I don't know. Is it a drop point or is it a spear point? If the tip is in line with the pivot, does that make it a spear point? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But like I said, that's what I call this one. I suppose that's a drop point. And then we got the Penguin here. Definitely, to me, that's a sheep's foot. So anyway, what I'd like you to do is comment down below and tell me what you think. Which ones are what? Which ones are what? Drop point, right? With the swedge. It's just a kind of a big version of that. Right? And the tip's higher than the pivot. So, another great knife. Can't wait to get it out and use it. I've just been using it for my reviews. I just think it's really funny to use a big giant knife in size comparisons. But this is a great knife. I've carried this knife a few times. It's fun to carry once in a while. You got to have kind of bigger pockets. You don't want your skinny jeans on when you're carrying that baby. Or, I don't know, women might like you. I don't know. So, anyway, guys, that's it. I just wanted to get a quick video out there talking about blade shapes and what you think. I'd love it if you'd comment down below. Tell me what your favorite blade shape is. My favorite blade shape is a Wharncliffe when I go to work, pretty much. I love it. I love a Wharncliffe or anything with like a nice straight flat edge. I know this one's going to do really, really good. It's got a little bit of belly to it, but not a whole lot. So I carry all these a lot. So anyway, get your family together. I hope you had a great Christmas. Turn off television, get outdoors. Toad Sticker out.